told her priest that she's pot on a chap. And this last not least, this Rickissime woman, who she writes foot fortunes many times over in the nursery. Bill McGreevy, she knits cats' cradles. This bountiful actress leashes a harrier under her tongue. And here's the girl who she's kneeled in cold fashion, and she's told her priest that she's pot on a chap. And this last not least, this Rickissime woman, who she writes foot fortunes many times over in the nursery dust with her capital thumb. Buzz. All runaway sheep bound back Bo Peep, trailing their teens behind them. And these ways went they, and those ways went they. Winnie, Olive and Beatrice, Nellie and Ida, Amy and Rue. Here they come back, all the gay pack, for they are the florals, from Fancy and Tansy to Papavery's blush. Forsake me not, while there's leaf there's hope, with Primtim's rose and Mary May's blossom, all the flowers of the Ansel's garden. But vice reversing thereout, from those palms of perfection, to Anger Arbour, Pre-Rack Monoton, Scrousely out of Scout of Ocean, virid with woad, what tournaments of complimentary rages wrought the Divlin from his punch pole to his tummy shenter, as he displayed all the oathword science of his visible disgrace. He was feeling so funny and floored to the cue, all over which girls, as he don't know who's who. If Goosey's gauges would but fain smile him a smile, he would be fondling a praise he ate some nice bit of fluff. But no jest reveals the uncommon. They're all odds against him, the beasties. Scratch. Stop. He dove his head into Watmurray, gave Stuart Ryle a fuck on the plexus, wrestled a hurry communion with the gilly bag, wiped all his sins as Marshall and Menial out of Shrove Sunday McPherson, excremented as freely as any froth blower into MacIsaac, had a belting bout chase to chase with McAdoo about nothing, and childhood's age being aye the shame least, tell a tatter and taster and toothsome tarascon fortune, vestimentivorous chlamydophagian, imbrezilated himself for any time untellable with what hung over to the McConaughey middle from the Maxicaries of the Breeks. Home. All while, Mosh Mishwes from Mungie Muncie, praying in his mind, son of Everallion, within himself, he swore. Mac Noon, Maggotty Mag, cross of a coppersmith bishop, he would split. He do big squeal like holy Trishpat. Seek hells, where from Yank Island is the Patriot's absolution. Machnitzar, Yannick. He takes skiff from first a green day, over wide Tumla, rough and dark, till when bow of the shower, show of the bower, with 3 shirts and a wind, Pagoda permitting, Cruco Levante, the Bruce, the Coriolano, and the Ignacio. From Prudels to the secular, but from the common to the naughty. Bye-bye, Brassoris, I'm breathing. Our war, Dolly Grey, a Conan's dream of loader circles. He here Schlussis, Geldchasser, no more. Missionary for the ministry to all the sends of Aram. Shimach, Eon of Era. Mums for his maxim, bands for his book, and dodge some door of a hedge-hung sheol mistress. And Uncle Silence coach and diligence. Disconnection of the succeeding. He whole hog himself for Carberry banishment, care of Pennsylvania, British America, to melt Mrs. Gloria of the Bunkers Trust, recuperated promptly by meteoromancy and linguified heis rogin. Quit to hail a hurry Laracor and catch the Panam Taricum, and regain that absentee Tari Easty, his città immediata, by an alley and detour with fair card available for 20 years. Right for Roby the Rhoda, from the safe side of distance. Libera nostalgia. Beate Laurentiae O'Toole, Euro Clan Nobis. Every monk his own cashel, where every little ligger is his own Yogo Tenente, with inclined jams in full purview to his pro-nails, and to the deer tail as his weirdos. To his finister, fire escaper. He would, with the greatest of ease, before wading mid-hook, by dear home crash old on the raging canal, for other sights of Jordan, heave a heavy water boy, make one of his ends with a knock on a cow and a chow collegians, and fire off, Georg Jornal, foul Sebastian Mulmud, his first epistle to the Hebrews. From Carnelius, long-time prepositor of Maria to the clutch in Antioch. Salvo, ladies and jointer men. No more curdon stalls, free leaves for everybody. All tin salmon in the yard, with harm and aches till father alters. Wild primates not stop him from at rearing and writing in handy antics. Nom de plume, gout-strapped Finlands, and send charge for merry Englanders. And don't you look at his vine-shanky Schwenny, for he is the general, make no mistake in he is General Jinglesome. Go in for scrivenery with the Society of Authors in SPQ Irish, and inform to the old sniggering public press and its nation of sheep-cuppers about the whole flighty troth between them, malady of Milady made melody of Malody, she the Lalage of Leonesses, and him her knave errant, to Wild Rose Lagilligan from Crappie Crowhore, for all within crystal range. Eucalypti, Lothar's leave, had days, Nemo in Patria, the luncher out, Skilly and Carabdish, a wandering wreck from the Mermaid's Tavern, bully famous, not sea cows, mother of misery, Walpurgisnacht, Nalish. He would bear to untired word of Lehmann Con in Austria, and what a strip-poker globe-trottle they pairs with looks, how whole fallows his guffer the Sabbatarian, my faction split his beard, he too had a great big O in the megafundum of his Thomas Hunters, and how her Letty shape his gummer, that congealed sponsor, she had never cessed at waking Malters among the Jamisons, since the cloth that meat-axe dealt her made her microcosm as gap as down low. So they fished in the kettle and fought free, and if she bit his tail about, all had tiffin for there. He would just sit it all right down, just as he would just set it up all writhily, rate in blotch and void, yielding to no man in his ignorance, seeing how heartily sorry he was, owning to the contrition of his bike stool, and reading off his flesh skin, and writing with his quill bone, fillful 9 quires with it for his auditors, Caxton and Pollock, the most miraculous Jeremy had sinned book for all the peoples, under the presidency of the Suchess of so-and-so, had to be held in, thoroughly enjoyed by many so many on Blanc at Boyrot season, and for their account, utterly admired by her husband in soul intimacy, about who's told his inner sense, and the gruesome head you reek of his spectroscope, and why he was off colour, and how he was ambushed upon by the very spirit himself, first on the cheek side by Michelangelo, and the Soon's lats, over on the old jowly side by Bill Babby, and the suburbs formule why they provincials drawl expelled him out of his home dormitory narrowed knee domum, osco de basco de pesco de disco, because all his creature comfort was an amulet finas erbas in an arch finis orb, and no master how mustard, mind never mend, he could neither swuck and none neither swim in the flood of socialism, and the best and shortest way of blacking out a cautelar of all the sorrows of Sexton, until he would accost her comme il faut, in teto do, as a wagoner would his mud-heeled wheezing dunk with their tryst in Parasite, after torments of toes and tears, bread cast out on waters, making goods at muturity, mon demoiselle of Casanova, and mademoiselle from Amantia, neblo novis nivo novio, nobio and nubi in enoviation. Occi tanti tempori. He would see through severals of centuries, may what may, might who might, so as to meet somewhere if produced, on a demi-pension for his whole lifetime, payment in good slee music and poisonal company, following which, like ipsi secum, when he fingered to foil the fruiter, she could have all the GSM she moohooed after 4 and refers to herself, including science of sonorous silence, while he, being brung up on soul butter, had recourse, of course, to poetry, with tears for his coronation, such as engine sweep. Was life worth leaving? Nay. Told of tree-treen, zo-grassing stone, Arty, reminiscentive at bandstand finale on Grand Carriero, dreaming largesse of life size over early lived dots. All satyrs of the South Scepter, highly nutritious family histrionic, Jenny Trixling with Avis and Avia, that simple pair, and descendant down on veluti pads by avuncular process to Eurus and Novatar, those notorious nepotists, circumpictified in their soberine senses, patris all of them by the gloss on their germane faces, and their saccharine eyes like transparents of vitricus, patriots to a man, the Arty-made levers of his econome world. Remember thee, castle throwing? One's prosperous creed, now Stohong Baroque. And I'll paint you as a pom if you'll trace me their title, to where was a hobble not a haggle, the first rattle of his universe, with a ting-tong tingling, and a next, gin a patty, got a petty, gussies give it hope, while each is shown. My God, alas, that dear old tum-tum home, whereof in youthful port I prayed, amook the verdi-grassy convict while salvezes, and cloited for a mormion in thy bosom shade. His mouth full of ecstasy, for Xing Yong Ting in China, from Yor Yume across the Timor Sea, hereupon, maladventure, shot pinging up through the arrow roof of his wisdom, who thought him a fonar all, feast king of Shelley's by googling lobby, regally fratherum, eagerly plumed, and was but gumboil O'Reilly, prod wretched some horsery McGee, prod coffin acid O'Darkery, prod dense floppin McGurdy, as thought it had been sawn into. All his sanguish blooded up, disconvulsing the fixtures of his fizz, a pang which his temperature made him a crazy chump of a Habajube Sirius. Joshua Croesus, son of none, though he shall live for millions of years, a life of billions of years, from their roseate glows to their violet lustres, he shall not forget that fucking pubicis. Holy owls balls and bloody acres, like nothing unhurt. But by Jove, Cronades, seed of some, after that he had bait his breastplates for forgetting his bird's place, it was soon that he rehad himself. By a prayer? No, that comes later. By contrite attrition? Nay, that we passed. Mid-exercism. So is rift. And it was so. And Malthus more and more resumed his soul, with go frack yourself off to Alan out of this, an old Stein song. He threw his fit up to his ears, rolled his polygon eyes, snivelled from his snows, and blew the guff out of his horny pipe. A hop-joint jerk of a ladle-brum jig that he learnt in Locofoco when a red-hot turnspit he. Under reign of old roast-and-the-bow rat-skillers' radios. Why was that man? For he's doing her wrong. Look at he looks, how he's nuts in his entrails. Mookery mooks, it's a grip of his gripes. Seekery seeks, why he's biting his head off. Cookery cooks, it's his spurt of coal. And may his tar pitch dilute not give him chromites, for the more that blinks you blank is mostly cargo. Where the inflammabilis might perceive his comborenda, with a pure flame and a true flame and a flame all to gas or suit. The worst is over. Wait, and the doubly mag may gang to creases. With Dinny Finine Mecantiho, in the lost of the demons, southmost. For he will himself deal a treatment as might be trusted in anticipation of his inculmination unto fructification for the major operation. When Pip, a message interfering, intermitting interskips from them, Pet, on Hertzian waves, called her venison eggs, called her a cell, a butterfly from her zip-clasped handbag, a wounded dove as started from, escaping out her forecups. I'll wail for you, O Doherlin, the poetessa. And around its scorched cap she has twilled a twine of flame to let the latest know she's married. And Pim it goes backballed, hot burns it so lest. A claribel come back to Erin, hurls before his even, post to their pen. Ease your change, think you, madam. Good afternoon, madam. Mind a step. Please stoop, or please stop. What say? I have so run from to him now, dear mate ashore, so completely till I can get redressed, which means the end of my stays in the languish of Tintagel. Is you jealous of me, brother? Did you boo moiety loud? You supported to be the unconditiously rejected? Satan delayed. Can that sub-stuff whingy willy stop up my brawn and sit in my lap? The pet, though I'd much rather not. Like things are MDs is all invincibles. Decoded. Now, a run for his money. Now, a dash to a dot. Old cocker, young crow, is father or son. A brand new speed hound, outstrippers on the wind. Like a waft to wing-weary one, or a sus to a coast guard. For directly with his whoop, stop, and an epilepsy didn't do a tishy. In appreciable less time than it takes a glaciator to submerge her in Atlantis, was he again a gob before the trembly ones. The sparks gap off, double-despatched, gotten all up in a simplest sailor maid, and shaking the storm out of his hiccups. The smartest vessel you could find would have lazily him on her knee as her lucky for the Rio Grande. He's a pigtail tar, and if he hadn't got it too thick, he'd a telltale tall of his picture on a wall, with his poacher in the papers for cutting mutton legs and capers, letting on he'd just be japers and his tail cooked up. Goal. It's won by its length. Angelina's hide from light those hues that your Simbo may bring the light. Though down to your doorstrip he's bent to knee, he mount no leggings here. For a haunting way will go, and you need not make your mow. Find the French for frocks and translate it into shocks of such as touch with show and show. He is guessing at hers, for all he is worse the seagull. Hark to his wily geeses goosling by, and play fair lady. And note that they who will for exile say can for dog, while them that won't leave England says now for no. For he falters how he hates to trouble them without. But leaving Codhead's mitre and the heron's plumes sinistrant to the server of servants and wrecks of Brighams, and making a bolder dash for levity of speech, he asks not, have you seen a match being struck, nor is this powder mine, but, letting pun plays pass to earnest, haps thee Joan of Arcs? Now. Haps thee me jaunties? Now how? Haps thee per causes noncy bellies? Now how? Aski, go on, me careful, get. Ping and ping one pong. And he did a get there, and slink his hook away, allager come allager, like a chimista in camisas, whom the hurricane hurries and hots, foot zingo zango segur, to hoots of utskot urkur, jamal, kum yalla yawash yak. For he could shap a chop a chew upon a scarf snack of pure underfallen Engelsk, melon moon, or tart of tortoise, tsuki saki, or soppy supon, as rascally and as beskly as your cheese chalk cow cudge Spanish. Makoto, what the crowde, gala nausi is, yet right divining do not was. Habovo, hapogate, okdimatsi in camicia. He had his spirits all fouling on him. To vet most grievously, he was bedizzled and bebuzzled. He had his Christius cavalier on, and looked like bloody hell. A shelling a cockshy and be donkey shot at, or a peso bizant to join the armada. But sin Chopanza, could anybody which walks this world with eyes wide open have looked twinsomer than the curl he left behind him? Candidatus, viridosus, aurilucens sine lab. Of all the green heroes ever wore cotton breeches, the whitemost, the goldenest. how he stood theirs with himself most Kevin, and that anti-revolutionary, the churchman childfather from Tunser's cuff to Almonder's toes, a hagiography in duo Jezemy, son softymost of Sire Six Tusks, of Maya Queenie's sign O'Shure, heavenly bodily time, in wreath of his near cities, a mickly dazzly eoily with Lewis curls, a soreness of by Celestal's priestess, their frail the practive, and then dandy pen his nose to play of the eyelid, with his gamecock spurts and his smile like with glue, the souciest so rear ever weanling wore, while his host of spritties, Luspiller Indonees, they went pea henning, a ribbit or rabbit up had around him, pilgrim prinkips, Kevilar Kevinor,